We just pulled off Marigold Lane onto the gravel road here, and we're going to take this gravel road down to the river and check out the river frontage on these tracts. Okay, if I can get my keychain off here. I always forget that, but I remembered this time. It rattles so much in the videos otherwise. I'm sure something will rattle, but it won't be my keychain. What a gorgeous, gorgeous area. This is just a breathtaking property. Every time I'm out here, it's like, wow. It's like you're in a private nature reserve. And actually, we're just a few hundred yards down the river from a private, well, not a private, from a public nature reserve, from the, I forget what it's called now, the Barclay Conservation Area. It's just, I guess you'd say upriver, a few hundred yards on the other side. So the tracts have frontage back there on Marigold, and then they get gradually wider as you get down to the river, and by the time you get to the river, they're at their widest point, which is pretty cool. So the actual river frontage is where the property is the widest. And you can take this gravel road down the hill to get to the north part of your property, including the riverfront. So that's pretty cool, I think. Or we think that you know, you can build up above if you choose to do so and have the view, and then you can hop in your truck, your car, your four-wheeler, or your side-by-side, and you can cruise right down to the actual water frontage. And nobody has actual river frontage on the Niangua River. I mean, resorts do. That's about it. It's such valuable frontage and so hard to find that very, very few private properties have actual river frontage. So now we're down at the bottom area. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. And that's the river beyond the trees. And this road cuts back to the right. You can see the power is right there, which is great. So it's not far away if you need it. So now we're heading basically north, and in just a little bit we'll get to the tracts. And I think I'll drive all the tracts in this one video. Actually, I've got a low battery deal that's been popping up, so I'm going to do this one video with all the tracts to kind of show the drive, and then ideally we'll have a drone video for you as well. So you can really get a good look. We love the drone videos, and on a property like this, I think they'll work out really, really well. Oh man, this is gorgeous. So there's the Niangua River down there. And over across, that's some kind of little outfitter, I guess. You can hear my trailer rattling now. Got the four-wheeler behind us today. So yeah, this is the little easement road that you can use to get to the north side of your property. So that's pretty convenient. Now this grassy area that you see, that's called, basically called river bottomland, and that's going to be within the flood zone more than likely. So what that means is, you actually can build there, but you would need to elevate your structure because you would never get a standard mortgage without flood insurance, and that gets really crazily expensive, etc., etc. But what we see people do on major rivers like this, and that's the Niangua, just on the other side of those sycamore trees, is you can elevate your structure, or you could have your main home up above where it's high and dry and you don't need flood coverage, and you could build an elevated day cabin down here. And we've done several of those. They're super cool. Just like a small little cabin set up high out of the flood zone can be super cool. But anyway, I'm looking at my map here, and we just crossed onto Tract 8. So that's Tract 8. You see, well, on the left and the right, you get to own both sides of the road in this case, which is pretty cool. Go really slowly here. Oh, it's gorgeous. Right down to the water. And then you've got that pretty, it's really not a bluff because it's not a sheer drop. It's just a hillside. But to build up above and then come on down here to the water. Really cool. We're going to be crossing over into Tract 7 in a moment. And you'll want to, I mean, you can see it here in the video, but you'll want to look at the maps as well. There's a large amount of area down here. This is not a tiny little bit of river frontage. There's a large area and a large amount of actual linear footage on the river, which is pretty fantastic. So Tract 7 we're looking at. See, I'm just picturing summertime with the kids down here, or your buddies, and maybe some four-wheelers, or grilling, or set up a volleyball deal. It's probably a sandy bank by the river. I'm not sure, but we can check that out. So that was and is Tract 7. In a moment here, we'll be crossing into Tract 6. Gorgeous. Okay, so crossing into Tract 6. Level right to the water. Awesome. And up there you've got quite a bit of timber actually. And then you can, I don't know if you can see it, but up above there you've got that overlook where you could literally build your mansion there and then be out of the floodplain and still have access to the river, which is really, really cool. Still on 6. Hey, there's an armadillo. He's digging a little hole over there. He's watching me. He doesn't care though. Sniffing his little nose. It looks like a pig nose. My dad had hogs, so I'm pretty familiar with piglets. Armadillos' faces always remind me quite a bit of a piglet. Okay, so still on Tract 6. There's that pretty house on the other side with the bluff. So he's got a view, but he's not getting to the water. You get both. We'll be crossing over into Tract 5. So now we've got Tract 5. Once again, beautiful and level. Right to the water, right to that tree line, and then the water's going to be beyond that. Actually, you've got a pretty large wooded area there according to the map, but a ton of river frontage. Wow. I've never really, slowly driven this area. I didn't realize just how much land there is down here on the water. Pretty fantastic. Still on Tract 5. Okay, we're about to cross into Tract 4. Once again, beautiful flat area. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, right to the, stays flat to those huge sycamore trees. And then that's probably like a sandy area leading to the river. I'm still zoomed in from the armadillo. The armadillo experience. There we go. You can see a little cabin across the water. That cabin is likely in the floodplain. So like I said, you're not restricted against building down here. It's just if you're going to invest, $50, $100, $300,000, you probably want to do it up above there. Take advantage of that view. And then use this as your private playground right down here on the river. Still Tract 4, still Tract 4. Big, big properties. Wow. We've been fortunate enough to do a few river developments over the years. But honestly, 3 acres for a real river is a big tract. So these are just monsters. Most that we've done on actual rivers. I mean, the frontage is so expensive. It's so expensive to get stuff on an actual river. That usually 3 acres is about as big as we've done. We've done 1 or 2 5-acre pieces, but even those didn't have very good frontage. So to have tracts of this size on this river, it still blows my mind. How do we do it? I don't know. Okay, we're crossing over into Tract 3. Still extremely level all the way to the water. Gorgeous. And I mean, this is the dead of winter, and it looks this good. Or I think it looks good. But in the spring and summer and the fall, when those leaves are on all those trees, it's going to be breathtaking. Still Tract 3. Still can look up there and see, you know, one potential building site if you want to take advantage of being high and dry. Fishing is so popular in the Niangua. Floating and kayaking. This is just like the I don't know, the top shelf stretch of river here. It's unbelievable. Okay, we're still on Tract 3. Okay, now we're crossing into Tract 2. If you have Tract 2 or 1, I apologize for the length of the video. It would have been a lot better for you guys had I just done a specific video. We wouldn't have had to go 2 miles an hour to get to your properties, but at least you got to get a feel for the area. So right now, Tract 2. Beautiful. Oh, man. The water's going to be through that timber. So much water frontage. And then Tract 2 looks like it's almost sloping a lot more gently. So potentially, if you wanted a private trail down here, you could without doing the easement road. I don't know, but it comes down here to Tract 2. And there may be trails. I mean, we haven't really fully explored any of this stuff. Getting closer to Tract 1, but we're still on 2. I mean, these are just kind of, I don't know a good name for them. What's a name for something you pass down to your kids? Like an heirloom, I guess? These are like heirloom tracts. I mean, for something to use and own as an investment, holy cow. I don't know why people wouldn't own good quality land. I mean, people buy stocks, and those go up a lot less than good quality land does. Why not have the land and you can actually use it? It's all about memories anyway. But we're crossing into Tract 1. I mean, you have this property, you come out here with your family, create memories for generations, and it's still going up in value with very little holding cost. I mean, the taxes are minimal here in this county. It's great. So this is Tract 1. This hasn't been mowed yet, but this has, and this is Tract 1. Spectacular. That's great. Let's call that good. Looking back into the sun now. Amazing properties. Amazing properties.